All right, we 3 weeks into this thing, Charlie, and usually around this time, you start to see which teams are starting to separate themselves from the pack. Granted, it's still early, don't get me wrong, but teams are starting to really show who they are. They're starting to form an identity, and they're starting to we're starting to figure out who they are. And so there are 6 remaining undefeated teams: the Bills, the Colts, the Chargers, the Eagles, the Bucks, and the 49ers. Which one of these surprises you the most, and which one do you think can't maintain the current position that they're in?
Yeah, I think two surprises me. The top one is the 49ers. I didn't think that they would be able to pull things off in a manner without Brock Purdy, but they were able to do it. So they got off to it. AFC, it's like I want to say I'm surprised, but I kind of thought that this is the direction that the Chargers would go. But Justin Herbert, again, I think as we went back our original picks, we got to go back and check it from earlier shows on who was going to win that AFC West, and I think I picked the Chargers.
I think you might have. You've been kind of on it lately, Charlie, with your picks, man. I got to give you that.
So that is it. And Chargers right now, they're playing lights out. They have a very favorable schedule. Of course, the way that the Chiefs are, struggling, I know they got their first victory this week. But ultimately, where you are, the Chargers right there, I think that they can maintain. Again, you have a chance to play the Steelers. That's going to be a big game when they do face off. But, man, those are the 2 teams that I'm surprised that way. Now, the team that I don't think will be able to hold it, I'm just not sold on the Colts right now. I know they're undefeated. I know they're tough. But, again, I just need to see that body of work continuously for Daniel Jones to keep it up. Not to say it can't happen. A change of scenery is what some people need. And it's exactly what you're talking about. Daniel Jones leaving New York, going to Indianapolis. Not much expected of him as he entered and signed as a backup. But here he is as a starter, and he is playing extremely well, man. Hats off to him, and hopefully he can keep it going. But again, I'm just not sold until I see it right now.
Danny Dimes? You're not sold on Danny Dimes yet?
Man, I've seen flashes. Don't get me wrong. I have seen flashes, and that's why ultimately the Giants organization, why they sided with him. They took the quarterback, over Saquon. Rightfully so. I understand it. But again, Daniel Jones needed that running game. That's why he was successful in New York. Now you give that to him with Jonathan Taylor. Now you see all the pressure is off of him. Now he's able to just go out there and deliver and throw the football down the field. And it's successful right now for Indianapolis.
I'm sold. I think I'm a little bit sold on the Colts, actually. I think they can maintain it. I had a chance to mosey on over to their film after I got done with my film study just to see if it was a fluke. I was wondering if it was the same situation. You remember the Saints last year when those first 2 games where they scored like 40-something points? I thought, could it look like that? But no, what makes me sold on this team is the one thing that Danny did not have in New York, and that's an O-line. He has Quentin Nelson. He has Braden Jones over at right tackle. He has Rahman, I think that's how you pronounce his name, at left tackle. So they got guys up front that are going to be there for a while protecting him. Quentin Nelson is the best guard in the NFL and has been for a long time. And so that is what gives me a little – and that division is weak. You saw the struggles with – and we'll talk about the Texans here in a second. We see what they did to Tennessee. Jacksonville, they have weapons, but they're not extremely a scary team when you look at them on paper. And so that is what gives me hope that the Colts, and plus we've seen what all across the league, these retreads, so to speak, going to new teams and having success. We see when Geno went to Seattle initially, and now with the Raiders, we see Sam Darnold, right, in Seattle, what he did to us last week. We see what Baker, probably the best one of them all, and Jared Goff, actually, but Baker Mayfield down in Tampa. And so I think the marriage of Danny Dimes and Steichen, I think that's good. I saw what Steichen did with Jalen Hurts when he was in Philly, Carson Wentz. And so he knows how to get the best out of quarterbacks. I just don't think Anthony Richardson had enough there for him to work with.
No, I get it. And it gives a whole new meaning of that first week of November when the Colts come to Pittsburgh. And literally people look at that and say, oh, that's a guaranteed win. Nah, buddy.
That's what I thought. I'm telling you, that's what I thought. Not no more.
It'll be a tough one. And, of course, we'll be celebrating Super Bowl 40 during that reunion. So the fans are going to be excited about it. But, again, there's going to be a lot to celebrate that weekend. So that's going to be one we're circling right there.
If we look like how we look now and Coach look like how they look right now, it's going to be a rough day for the Steelers. But I'm hoping that after the bye week, after this game versus Minnesota, we have a whole month and a few games, a month and a half of games left before we play them. So it's going to be interesting. On the other side, there are 6 teams that are below 500, or that are 0-3, my bad. The Jets, the Dolphins, the Texans, the Titans, the Giants, and the Saints. Is there anything there amongst those teams that tells you that one of them can turn it around?
Yeah, the majority of those teams will be picking at the top of the draft next year. But the one team that's still in Pittsburgh. But you have one of the team that I think that can get around it is going to be the Texans, because it's not a strong division. At some point, maybe you're hoping that somebody knocks off the Colts and it gives them striking distance. Could that division be 8-8 as a division winner hosting a playoff, or 9-8 hosting a division game? Yeah, it's possible. And that gives them hope because they still have that, the division teams to be able to fall back on. So I'm not giving up on the Texans right now.
Okay. Well, our brothers and Big Play Pittsburgh, Big Play Sports, I know they're pretty happy. Cleveland based.
Oh, yeah.
The Browns actually pulled one off, man. And you know what? They pulled it off by kicking a field goal. Now, we play them in the game after our bye week, week 6. Is that Browns defense as good as they looked so far this year? Because they look terrifying.
Yeah, they're legit. I mean, their defense is solid. There's no question about it. And I love the still image that they had in there. The Browns were running. They had a four-man pass rush, and literally you had 3 guys focusing on Myles Garrett. Man, that was hilarious. But that just lets you know the amount of respect that he has and will continue to have in this league. But I think when you look at just the Browns, they're a scary team. And I think the reason why Cleveland is excited this morning, even though they didn't put up a ton of points and whatnot, it's just the fact of there's a lot of people out there that is predicting Green Bay to be the representative of the NFC. Mm-hmm. So to go in and beat that team and at that particular point, it gives them hope. You just hope that it doesn't ignite them enough that they're ready in a couple of weeks as they get ready to play Pittsburgh here in the early portions as they're looking to turn their season around. So again, everybody's going to be paying attention to what is the follow-up after they beat Green Bay. But either way, this is a week they can celebrate.
Is the Bengals season over? They just got mollywopped by our upcoming opponent, the Vikings, 48-10. Jake Browning, who I thought performed well in years past when he had to come in for Burrow, laid an egg. And that defense hasn't been strong for a long time, and this year is no different story. But their offense is struggling, and they paid a lot of money for that not to happen. Is their season over with?
I don't necessarily say it's over with, because it's always tough. That first game is for the backup to kind of come in. He starts out slow, but more, the more you get up to game speed, your second and third game generally are a lot better than that first one. So I'm not giving up on them completely, only because they are loaded on offense, even though they're struggling on defense. Again, I just see them picking up, and I think that rhythm is going to happen. And at some point during the season, everybody writing them off, they're going to sit back and turn around and put that card up and say, hey, man, we're playing with house money, but we ain't got nothing else to lose. Let's just go out there and let it all on the line. And that's going to be a dangerous team. So you better get them now, because I think they're going to pick up speed come mid-October and November. They're going to be a dangerous team.
All right. Well, they didn't look dangerous on Sunday, but they were going against a Vikings team that hung 48 points on them with Carson Wentz at quarterback. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Bengals do after this game, because they got their work cut out for them.